A finger of land with rugged rocks and sheer cliffs, overlooking the currents that collide violently on this corner of the African continent, and a nemesis to many sailors over the centuries.
A floral kingdom where a World Heritage Site comes to a dramatic end on the very tip of the Cape Peninsula. This is Cape Point, a place unlike anywhere else on this planet.
Hello and welcome to the official Cape Point podcast. Over the course of this 12-part series, we'll be exploring this landmark's history and myths. We'll also celebrate the natural beauty of its unique flora and fauna.
A paradise for our early Stone Age ancestors who lived here 600,000 years ago.
The story of some of the earliest territorial feuds ever fought. The story of Lyme.
German spies who fooled a lighthouse keeper or two.
The legend of the Flying Dutchman, cursed to never round the Cape of Storms.
Indonesian treasures and the fate of a greedy captain.
Cape Point shellfish-eating baboons, perhaps nature's most chauvinistic animals.
The episodes of this podcast can be listened to in any order, so feel free to download them all and listen whenever and wherever you like. Let it begin. Cape of Climbs, the Funicular Trams. A tough trip to the top. The lighthouse keeper at the Cape Point Lighthouse began to keep a visitor's book in 1877, partly for his own amusement and partly to reward those who had made the arduous trip. One early entry simply said,
"Hades of an ascent."
"Some climb," panted another.
"We want a road," squealed a third.
Let me give you an idea of how difficult the trek to the lighthouse was. Between 1877 and 1915, the visitors' book saw only 70 or so entries each year. If you consider that most visitors' groups consisted of at least 5 people, that's only 14 visits per year. A decent road was built in 1915, and visitor numbers picked up. But the climb from the road to the lighthouse remained an arduous affair. Of bus services and upgrades. Before the Funicular Railway was built in 1996, there was a bus service that took people from the car park up to the staging point. That's where the top funicular station is now. From there, they could make their way to the lighthouses and viewing sites. The main restaurant in Cape Point was in the Buffelsvlei building, where the information centre is today. The original bus was called the Flying Dutchman, after the famous ghost ship. The Cape Point Funicular took its name from the bus service that preceded it. But these days, it's much smoother sailing. It is said that the Flying Dutchman's captain, Van der Decken, was cursed to sail the stormy waters round Cape Point forever. The American writer, Michael Fraser, immortalized the original bus service in a passage that deserves repeating.
Destined, like its namesake, to never round the Cape, and doubly cursed to never get out of second gear, the roaring blue beast strains its way interminably up and down the steep road, the bus driver undoubtedly uttering his own Van der Decken-like oaths when American tourists in tartan shorts, in a world of their own, wander dreamily across his bows, requiring that the anchor be dropped rather abruptly for the sake of harmonious international relations.
The council contracted a construction company to build a tourist facility at Cape Point in 1995. It included a scenic restaurant, a kiosk, an information centre and a shiny new funicular railway to replace the ill-fated bus service. The funicular. The word funicular comes from the Latin word funis, meaning rope. That's a clue about what makes its technology unique. A funicular railway uses 2 rail trams attached to one another with a cable. The counterweight of each car produces part of the power that moves the cars up and down the steep slope. The rails upon which the cars are set are proudly a South African invention. They're the brainchild of one Peter Kissel of the Tubular Track Company. The top funicular station was once the staff quarters of the original lighthouse. Today, it is a curio shop and kiosk.
Construction delays. Construction of the funicular started in September 1995. There were some unexpected delays, as is often the case with projects of this nature. The newspapers reported constant delays, and the opening date was postponed again and again. Finally, the funicular opened in December 1996.
The funicular today. Today, around 1 million people make the journey to Cape Point every year. Of those visitors, approximately 400,000 use the funicular to get up to the lighthouse. It's safe, it's smooth, it's silent, and it's a lot more environmentally friendly than a bus because the winch at the top is electric. The funicular is able to transport up to 600 people per hour, with 40 people per car. It travels at 16 kilometers per hour for the 585 meters between the parking lot and the area below the lighthouse. We are sure you'll agree that it was worth the wait.
That's it for this episode of the official Cape Point podcast. We hope you have a chance to visit this dramatic corner of the African continent sometime soon, and to experience the scenic beauty which surrounds this idyllic piece of land.
You can explore one of the many trails across craggy cliffs to hidden beaches, or ride the funicular and visit the old lighthouse. There are also free audio tours to enjoy at your own pace.
Just download the VoiceMap app and install the Cape Point audio tour. It's best to do this before you visit, as cell phone signal is unpredictable.
To find out more about Cape Point, visit www.capepoint.co.za.